Hi, Tom and Steve with another video, and this one I have to tell you, everybody, is it was an eye-opener. And let me propose the question, and then we'll go from there. Do guardian angels change their appearance to look like you under certain circumstances? And the answer to that is yes. And let me go through this with you guys, because this is a pretty, God, it was intense. I mean, it was intense, but also just enlightening in so many ways, and the whole point of all of this is how we affect others. All of us. You'd be surprised how we affect others. It is stunning how we affect others. And I'm not talking about evil. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about about goodness. The testament of goodness. What does that mean? It means testament of goodness, and you put others before you. All of you do that. And so, but let me go and continue with the story here, and it has to do with the patient. Last week, and it was on Saturday when I first was called in, and there was a patient, and there were two patients in one room, and one of the patients had passed away, and I was called in to do, like last rites or final prayers for that, and I did that. The nurse comes up to me and signals to me about the patient that was in the same room, the next patient behind the curtain there, and so she wanted me to visit that lady. When I opened that curtain, I have to tell you, the woman was terrified. She was just scared out of her mind, and the reason for that, she had witnessed that patient in her room pass away, and before that patient passed away, that patient looked at her. And needless to say is that it got to her. And so I spent about an hour talking to her, trying to calm her down, and going through the usual explanation that it was her time, so on and so forth. But during the discussion, I find something else out. The woman that passed away had heart surgery on her heart. The woman I was talking to was having the same surgery on Monday. And she was afraid, because what she saw in the last patient, that she was going to die. And that's what added to all the tension in regards to her. She was totally in fear. I cannot tell you, she was in total fear that she was going to lose her life, that it was the end of her. And I had to sit there, and I just told her flat out, it wasn't her time. It's not her time. She's going to get through this. And I went through this for the whole hour. And then by the time I left at that hour, it was like Saturday night, and I think I calmed her down. The next day, on Sunday, I came back and I saw her again, and we talked for I talked for about a half hour, 45 minutes, again reiterating she's going to be just fine, she's going to get through this, and nothing to worry about. Even the surgery is pretty common, even though that patient in the same room passed away, she's going to get through it. I told her it's not her time. I looked at her and I said it's not her time. That night, I came in. I just wanted to make sure she was doing okay. So on my own will, I came in. I think it was around 7:30 at night. I came in and I saw her again. And as soon as I walked in the door, I told her she's going to get through this, and I sat down with her for actually another hour. Just calming her down, getting ready for the next morning. She was going into pre-op around 5:30 in the morning, going to the operation around 7:30 a.m., somewhere around that time. And so I talked to her, and when I left the room, I told her, I turned around, I looked at her, I said, "You're going to get through this. You're going to really get through this." And I just looked her straight in the eye, and I just told her, and she got what I was saying to her, because it all depends on how you deliver that statement. It's really important, because my job is to give them hope. My job is to give them faith in their self, and that's what I was trying to do with her. The debate that I had the next morning, I knew she was going into pre-op 5:30, and what happened is it was one of the few days that my wife and I had together. And we have a kind of a ritual when that happens. We have our breakfast, and we have eggs, bacon, the whole kibit caboodle, all of it. And she was kind of ready to go, about 6:15. We were going to have breakfast early, and so I didn't go to see her in pre-op. And I didn't really give it, a whole I prayed for, and when I prayed in the morning, I prayed for, and, and I was hoping for the best on her, and I spent time with my wife that whole day. Actually, we did some things around the house. There were a lot of things to do. Actually, in the bedroom, we just put a new floor down. We do laminate floor. We got all that done, taken care of. And so that night, I decided to go and check on her, and I went to the hospital. And I walked in the room that she was in, and I walked in, and she was doing okay. From what I understand, I talked to the nurse. She was eating food. She was doing fine. She really got through the operation just fine. So I walked in the room, and I said, you see, I told you we're going to get through this. Just to reiterate, she was going to be just fine. Well, let me just tell you, this is where it really gets really intense, and I have to tell you, I reacted in a way. She started getting into this, saying that I saved her life, and that I was at the hospital at the foot of her bed with my red jacket on. I want you to think about this for a second. I didn't go to the hospital. I didn't go to the hospital that morning that she had the surgery. I was not there. I was at home with my wife. And yet she was telling me, she saw me at the foot of her bed, and I was reiterating over and over again that she was going to get through it, she was going to be just fine. And all the way through her surgery, she saw me the whole time in my red jacket, standing near her and at the edge of the operating table, telling me she's going to get through this, she's going to be just fine. And I was just really supporting her, and she was explaining to me, and I have to tell you, my initial expression, or my initial thought, I didn't take it seriously, everybody. I really didn't. But she was so persistent, and she was so sincere what she was telling me, that I was actually there. That I was there with her, I was watching over her, I was supporting her, I was giving all the support she needed to make sure that she was going to get through that surgery. And after a certain period of time, after she kept going over and over and over again, it really settled in. What is going on here? And I just, and then it hit me hard. It hit me in a way that the spiritual realm. And I was, to make a long, I don't know how to explain it to you, but I was in the spiritual realm at that moment, that she was really being sincere with me, and I was feeling I was feeling stuff, I was feeling forces, I don't know how to explain it to you, I was feeling things going on. And it really took me. And I was people have ND experiences. They talk about it's hard to adjust. It's the same thing with me. I was really now into this kind of spiritual realm, kind of like an ND experience, and I was having a hard time adjusting into this world that I was in. And so she was just, going on, and she was to tell me she was thankful. You saved my life. You made me support. God chose you to be with me, and she was so sincere in it. And I was just like, And I think a part of it too, it was, to be honest with you, it was like, I didn't want to be egotistical about it. That wasn't about that at all. But here's the thing, and here's the point that I'm trying to make, everybody. This is the most important part of all this whole thing I'm telling you about, this story about this woman. It's not about me. It is about me. I went home, and I told my wife, I said, I have to talk to you for a few minutes. And so we talked, and I told her about the experience. And she said something that just clicked. And what clicked when she said, it was her guardian angel. And that clicked. So in other words, what happened is the guardian angel knew that I was not going to make it that morning to support her. Because I had such an effect on this particular patient, she became me. Her guardian angel became me and looked like me at the foot of her bed, supporting her through the whole operation, through the pre-op, everything. I was there. And the lady was absolutely convinced that that was me there. And to find out, really, the truth of the matter is, it was her guardian angel. Me, looking like me. And so, and what it is, and I was talking to somebody else about it too, the red jacket. How did she know I had a red jacket on? How did she know about my red jacket? And so, and I was talking to somebody else, another chaplain, about this, and guardian angel was telling me something. It was her. She's letting me know that, you know, she was taking care of her, but she was using me in order to take care of her because I had such an effect on her. But here's the bottom line, everybody. It is beyond me. It is what is the most important thing to really say about all this is the effect that all of us have on one another. You know, we hear the horror stories, we hear all kinds of stuff World War II, all the things that go on, but I got to tell you, in the aspect of goodness, the testament of goodness, what is that? Is that when you put others before you. All of you out there do that. You put others before you. At times you put others before you, and sometimes you don't even think about it, you just do it. You put others before you, whatever the circumstances may be. You put others before you. And that's what this is all about, is how we have sometimes profound effect. You may do something to somebody or say something to somebody or do something in favor to them and walk away, and you have no idea how that person was affected. And that's the point I'm trying to make to everybody. There are times, things that we do in our lives, we put others before us, how we truly affect them. In such a manner that it is in its own right, it's just really stunning what we can do at times. And the other thing about it too is that we just have a profound effect on everybody. People we talk to, it is stunning how we can affect others, and sometimes we don't even give it a thought. We walk away, and that person is taken aback by just what we said and how we acted and what we did to support them, whatever it may be. And this is turning out to be a long video, but this is okay this time. We have profound effect on everybody. And, you know, and we talked about other lives, things that go on. We all interplay with each other. We all, in a sense, it is funny how we, in potentially other lives, we play different parts, and I don't mean to kind of make it into a play, but we add to each other our experiences, our knowledge. We gain knowledge out of each other in so many different ways, and in this particular instance, you know, here was the guardian angel pretending it was me. Things go on, forces at play, everybody. There are forces at play that sometimes, and to be honest with you, it's an honor. It was an honor for me that I had that kind of effect on this woman. And the guardian angel knew this. And I thanked her that night. I thanked her, you know, for, you know, that I was able to help in one way or another. But she took the place of me because she knew I wasn't going to be there in the red jacket. So it tells you everything. And the red jacket was kind of indicating to me about the guardian angels. This was really true. This was really happening here. Anyway, I just wanted to give you some thought on this, everybody. And again, to reiterate, we have profound effect on people. Sometimes in little ways, sometimes in major ways, things that go on and we do, and what we think is kind of minor can be profound for the next person. That we did something for, or we said something to them, or whatever it may be. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And I appreciate your time. But the really most important thing, everybody, to really take away what I'm saying in this is that never underestimate what you do with other people. Never underestimate how profound you can affect others in your own way. And, you know, we talk about forces at play. You know, we're talking about guardian angels. We're talking about in the spiritual realm. And sometimes things, you know, even though they're separate forces are going on, sometimes they intersect. And that's like what happened with this guardian angel and with this patient. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end it here, but I appreciate your time as always. Hope your day is going well. Until the next video. Thanks for watching this video. Appreciate it again. Thank you.